We're talking jerky. Not just any jerky, deer jerky. 97-pound doe, and we're gonna make the entire deer into jerky. We're gonna cut as much whole muscle jerky as possible. The remainder portion, we're gonna do an extruded jerky. It's all going in the Gorilla Mammoth smoker. Scott, what do you think? You like jerky, don't you?
I love jerky. And we're gonna be using our 10-pound jerky kits, which have the natural cure added. So each one of these bags does 10 pounds. We have three flavors, bold, hot, and Hickory BBQ. So we have enough here to do 60 total pounds. Of course, I don't believe we'll get 60 total pounds, but we'll see how much of it are whole muscle strips and how much of it is the ground informed. But either way, we're able to turn the entire deer into jerky. So I'd say we just get started and see how much we can get of each kind.
It's gonna be interesting. 97-pound deer hanging just like you see it right here. So we're gonna see how much jerky we can get. Up on the operating table she goes. And we're just gonna do our normal procedure. We're gonna pull out the inner loins, pull off these rounds, and everything's getting made into jerky, including the inner loins, the back straps, you name it. Some people might cringe when they see us making the tenderloins into jerky, but you know what? They make great jerky. Get those pulled out of there. There's one inner loin. Breaking this deer down today without the use of a bandsaw or a handsaw. So don't worry if you don't have those processing tools, because today we're just going to use a 6-inch boning knife collab that we did with Montana Knife Company. So that'll be it. There's those inner loins. Tail's always the hardest part to cut off. That's a little pet treat. Now what we're gonna do is find this H-bone here. Find that ball joint. Use just a little bit of downward pressure and cut this whole round off of here. Once we get these rounds off, we'll get them all separated into different muscle structures. But there's one round. This round a little bit. There you go. Thanks for holding it, Scott. I was worried about it falling. There's the other round. So there's both rounds.
Those two, these are your meat and potatoes of jerky. The hams, they call them. But that's where we're gonna get a large portion of our whole muscle jerky is out of these two pieces right here.
Now we're gonna go for the shoulders. Just connected by this tissue underneath of this shoulder blade. Pull the shoulders off there. Each side.
The front shoulders typically don't make the greatest jerky. You can get a few little strips out of there, but definitely an area that we'll do more grinding on.
So all the trimmings, those are going to get made into the chopped and formed. So we'll just get a pile of those started. Now, let's get these back straps out of here. Start with removing a little bit of that rib meat. To remove this back strap, it's going to go down this vertebrae here. I did notice that when I took this deer that it had been hit at some point. Somebody already skimmed the top of its back with an arrow. Let's get this loin started. Pull that whole back strap out. So there's one back strap. We'll get these all trimmed up. Let's go for the other back strap. Right up along that vertebrae. It's a little bit of scar tissue right there that I talked about from that. Somebody put an arrow in it. There's the second back strap. Now we'll just go down through this rest of this rib cage and this carcass and get all this trimmings off for the pressed and formed style jerky. Start by removing this neck. So I'm just going to go down through here and get any meat that was left on here off. Get it all nice and cleaned up. Pretty much wrapped up that part. Got it all cleaned up. Into the barrel we go. Got a scrap pile here started. Scott's gonna go down through, he's gonna start on this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down through all of these quartered pieces and I will start getting everything ready for whole muscle strips. Then of course the trim pile is what's going to get made into the pressed and formed style. There's where that shot has that boogered up a little bit right there. There's one back strap for jerky. So to make whole muscle jerky, we're basically just removing all of the fat and gristle, ending up with a nice lean piece like this that we can go back through and then cut into strips. Scar tissues definitely making it a little bit tougher. Peel that silver skin off there, you can see it. Just want to discard that little piece of scar tissue there. There's the second loin. So there's the two back straps.
Have you ever made jerky out of backstrap before?
Yeah, pretty often. I know I mentioned earlier some people might cringe that we're turning these inner loins, these fish tenders, and those back straps into jerky, but you know what? It all gets eaten, so it makes fantastic jerky, especially for, you know, all the kids and snacks and school snacks and tree stand snacks, you name it. It's a nice treat to hand out to family and friends. There's an inner loin. So, in our opinion, if you're going to make something out of your deer that is a popular item and people eat, go for it. There's that second inner loin.
Now, what do you think what piece is gonna make the best whole muscle jerky out of what we're gonna have here?
Probably those back straps. I would say those are going to be super tender. We can cut it nice and thin, nice long strips. All right, let's go through this shoulder. I'll be pulling the flat irons out of here for jerky. Scott may find a few pieces in here, maybe up in this arm portion where we can get a little bit, but we're not going to pick too hard for jerky up in that portion. We'll pull the flat iron out of here. Don't forget that up there and located in the front of that shoulder, you do have that gland, so you want to get that gland cut out of there. This is that whole shoulder blade portion. We're gonna pull this top blade roast out of here. So we're just going to take the tip of our knife and go right down along this shoulder blade. Pull that top blade stake out. We'll get that trimmed up for some jerky. On this side you have the little mock tender. We can cut this into some jerky too. So there's the flat iron and mock tender. I'm Seth with the Bearded Butchers.
And I'm Scott with the Bearded Butchers. And for nearly 3 decades, we've been in the commercial meat business. And for about 2 of those decades, we've been formulating clean label spices. This is something that you can use in your home butchering experience. We have DIY kits that have everything in the kit included to make snack sticks, bratwurst, summer sausage. We have the components broke out, whether it's the high temp cheeses, the casings, or the seasonings, or the cures. So you can get a natural, clean label product. That's something that we've spent decades formulating here at the Bearded Butchers.
Super easy to use kits, and you'll see right here on the back, we have all of the instructions, the nutritional facts. We even have a calculator that breaks these down into smaller portions. So we think these are amazing. You buy the kit, all you have to do is add the protein. You can go buy the piece off of our website and you can build your own. So check out beardedbutchers.com or go to the store locator and visit a retail partner or Amazon and get some.
There you have it. Clean label, no chemicals, easy to use. You can elevate your meat experience with the Bearded Butchers home processing products.
We guarantee that your friends and your family, they're gonna love these items. Now we're just gonna work our way through this flat iron and the mock tender. Doesn't produce a lot of jerky, but what it does produce is pretty tasty. So just want to remove this outer skin and gristle, and then there's a gristle strip on the inside here. Just fillet it like a fish, like that. So those pieces will be for jerky. And then this little mock tender. Man, I can't wait to get some of this jerky made and take it down to our cabin and sit in the tree stand, snack on it. So this does have a gristle strip in the middle as well. It's not quite as flat as the one in the top blade roast, but it's a little bit thicker here on this end. So there's a couple pieces out of that mock tender. So inner loins, back straps, those shoulder pieces, flat iron, mock tender. Next up, this is the biggest, easiest portion to make out of the deer into whole muscle jerky. On to the round. Separate this into all the different muscles. First, we'll remove this femur bone out of here. Get that femur out. Pull the round tip out. We'll get those all trimmed out. Pull the sirloin off of there. This is the tri-tip. Might get a little bit of jerky out of that. This is the top round portion here. So there's the top round. Pull the heel out. Right here's where that gland's located in that round, right between that eye round and that bottom round. And that chunk of fat, there's a gland in there, just get rid of that. This is the eye round. There's the bottom round. So there's one. Get started on the second. So now that we have both of those rounds all seamed out, we're just going to go down through and trim everything and prep it for the whole muscle jerky. So this round tip has some seams in it. Just want to find those gristle strips and remove them. Any of that silver skin, take that silver skin off there. You don't want to get that stuck in your teeth when you're trying to eat jerky. These to our pile as we go. So this is the top round. This is the nicest portion out of that whole round to make jerky, and I'll just get it trimmed up and get it added to our pile here. But if you ask me, you know, if there's one muscle inside that round that makes the best jerky, it would be this top round. Just want to remove all that outside material. What you're left with is just this nice lean top round roast that we can go back through and cut some jerky. It does have this seam that goes through the center right here, so typically what I'll do is I'll just separate that off. We'll cut this into jerky, that little piece there, and then we'll cut this main portion into strips also. Just wrapping up this last piece of this sirloin tip for jerky. You can see our pile that we have. These are the sirloin and round portions here, all trimmed up, ready to be sliced. This is from the shoulder, so this is the flat irons and mock tenders. We have those back straps and those inner loins. Scott's been working at the trim over here. That's for the pressed and formed. We're gonna get everything weighed, so we'll give you a total what we got off this 97-pound deer. The next step here is just to get started slicing some jerky for whole muscle jerky. What I like to do, like these are those back straps, for example, I like to cut them in about the length of jerky strips that you want to end up with. And then with these, the grains, you want to cut against the grains. You can see the grains are running this direction like this. So you want to cut these lengthwise like that, so you get your grains going across the strip. Makes for an easier to eat bite. We're just going to work our way down through here and cut strips like this. And cut them as thick as you like. So whether you like thin jerky or thick jerky, it's completely up to you what you like.
Put it up there.
Let's see it.
This is
Come on over here.
the tannery out here.
Landon has been squirrel hunting this fall, and not only has he been squirrel hunting, he's been deer hunting too, but he's been working at his own tanning. So this is a fox squirrel that he got, and he's been tanning. So he tanned a gray squirrel hide all by himself, and this is he's on to the second or third squirrel hide. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice work, Landon.
Thanks.
This is that top brown portion I was talking about, and look at these nice strips of jerky that this makes. Just a nice whole muscle strip of jerky. All right, Scott, we're down to the last, oh, you have a little piece there to finish. We're down to the last two pieces. You want to do the honors on one and I'll do the honors on the other?
Thing.
Those are those inner loins. Boy, tenderloin jerky. Doesn't get much better than that. And it is tender. Look at that beautiful pile of whole muscle strips for jerky. That's what you get out of a 97-pound doe. And, you know, using some of the shoulder trim, those rounds, those back straps, those inner loins. So that's the whole muscle. And there's the trim. So this is going to get made into pressed and formed. That's going to get made into whole muscle. We'll get these weighed and then we'll just start making it.
Tear at our lug. Let's go ahead and see how many whole muscle strips that we have. I'm guessing 15 to 18 pounds. Usually about the most you can get off of a deer. Ooh, 20.72.
Well, we put the extra squeeze on it. So
Yeah, we did, putting those loins in
Shoulder-
there.
the shoulder pieces and
20.72 on the, now mind you, I have a tear on there for my lug. And then 34.78. This is gonna be our ground and form jerky. That's our whole muscle jerky. We do have some pork fat trimmings, fatty pork trimmings that we're gonna add to this, but we're gonna split everything up how we like it into either bold, hot, or Hickory BBQ. So let's just weigh it and split it, get started seasoning. We gotta do a little grinding, go through all those steps. Before we get to grinding and doing all the separating, so 97-pound deer, and we have a total net boneless meat, 100% boneless, closely hand trimmed, of 55.5 pounds. That's a 57% yield, which is pretty remarkable, especially since it's hung in the cooler, had some evaporation loss with the dry aging. So as we said, 20.72 boneless whole muscle strips, 34.78 boneless for ground. So of that 55.5 pounds that we have here, about 37% of that is whole muscle strips, 63% is ground. So that gives you an idea of the split. So we're gonna be doing Hickory BBQ, we're gonna be doing hot, and we're gonna be doing bold. I've split the whole muscle into 3 different lugs, just under 7 pounds, 7 pounds, 6.90. And then using the conversion rate in the back, I know that I need 7.31 ounces of the Hickory BBQ. And this, the beauty of this is it has the natural cure mixed right in. We do Hickory barbecue seasoning, which is based on our original seasoning and our Hickory barbecue sauce. And we mix in celery juice powder, cherry powder, so you get awesome natural cure with vegetable sources. You don't have to use sodium nitrite. So I'm just going to weigh this out to 7.3 ounces, which is exactly what I need for my 6.90 pounds. Now for the whole muscle jerky, we want this to marinate overnight. These are whole muscle pieces. Obviously, we're not grinding this, so this jerky needs to be allowed to kind of marinate or sort of create its own juice. That's a practice that we use in our commercial butcher operation as well. So we're just going to make sure that everything is evenly coated and all that seasoning is mixed on there. And then we let this sit for typically overnight so that all those flavors will penetrate into those slices, which are about 1/4 or 1/16 inch thick.
Smell is hitting me.
Isn't that Hickory barbecue getting that good? Yeah, this will start to kind of create its own little bit of a marinade juice there. He's coming in for the smell. How's that smell, Seth?
Smells like deer camp.
There's our Hickory barbecue. So we can set that one aside. That's going in the refrigerator overnight. Onto our bold. We need 4.41 ounces of this one. Finally, our hot, also 4.41 ounces. All right, so we're adding pork fat trimmings to these. The beauty of this is what we're left with here. We have exactly the right amount to finish off the bags of seasoning that we have that are already open. So we had enough left over for 3 pounds, and then we'll just use a full bag. So when we started out, I said we have enough seasoning here for 60 pounds of jerky. When we added the pork fat, all told, we now have 60 pounds altogether. So makes it really nice. We're just gonna mix these in prior to grinding, then we're gonna grind these through, and then I have a secret weapon to show you for extruding the, actually, hand me that, Seth. We're gonna use a regular jerky gun, but I wanna show you something the internet will like that we made. Say hello to my little friend. I need my battery in here. It's a double barrel too. Let's just start with our Hickory barbecue. And we're gonna mix these in. And since we're grinding this, we don't need this to marinate overnight. We're gonna grind all this in. It's gonna blend in there really nice. That cherry powder that we use is sorbic acid, which is gonna act as a cure accelerator. So we're just gonna blend and grind these, and we can get these extruded and get started cooking today. So yeah, we have 13 pounds here once we added the pork fat trimmings of the chopped and formed. It's gonna mean we're gonna have to do numerous cooks to get this all through the smoker, but that's okay. There's bold. Now on to hot. Go ahead. Using the dual grinder, so one pass will get a nice blended up mixture here.
Oh, that Hickory
Seth
barbecue.
can't help himself with the smell.
I cannot wait to eat this.
My side cramped when I reached around there. Dying here. Hey. Oh. These are all ground out. Now, can hand mix them, get everything blended in there. But for a little added protein extraction, I'm gonna put the made with meat mixer, which can also be operated by hand, but there's a mixer for 25 pounds that marries up to this grinder. So I'm gonna marry that up to this grinder, let the machine do a little bit of the work. We'll get a little better protein extraction out of it. Scott's hot tip. Whenever you're working through different flavors, we always work from the mildest to the hottest. So that way, if you have any of your seasoning go into the batch, it doesn't turn it hot. So got the bowl here. We're just gonna put this in and let it mix a minute or two in each direction and get that protein extraction. We're gonna do a minute in one direction, a minute in the other direction. Adding a little water in this step helps with that protein extraction. Plus it's gonna act a little bit as a lubricant when we go to extrude all this. So there's one mixed up. Got some of that stickiness, some of that protein extraction. That's not mixed. Obviously that's straight out of the grinder. So we'll just put these three flavors through the mixing process. There's a dog.
I don't think we need to put any more water.
It's our dog.
Harley?
Okay, we're gonna get started. This process of putting these out on these racks. We're gonna put a little bit of non-stick cooking spray on the racks as we go, which if you stack them up like this, obviously you get a little better coverage there, but we'll just keep going. We'll start. Seth has offered to take the non-motorized. No, I made this a few years ago, and it's a caulking gun, and it has the dual nozzles, which is really nice for this process. But either way, it kind of works the same. You just got to load up this tube and start extruding. So you got some of that meat extraction, and it'll get a little sticky. That helps them kind of stay together as more or less like a bar.
He's saying 6'7". It's not really fair. I would like to mention, I think my strips are look a little nicer, Scott.
I'm just getting my technique down.
You might be quicker, but
able to run Boone home. What happened?
Kicks the box.
Boone, no, Boone, it's time for you to go home with Mama. Well, listen, you can't run around the Starlink, okay? Come back, Boone. You can stay for. Whoa. Are we using the Starlink? Is that why we have the Starlink out?
Yeah.
So we have 2/3, two of the three flavors, and our racks are full. Bold and Hickory BBQ. We're gonna load these up in the smoker. We're gonna do 180 degree temperature to start. Get a good smoke on them, and then we'll keep going up a little bit in temperature. With thin sheets of meat like this, it's a little bit hard to get a probe in them to actually tell what your temperature is, but you kind of want to go a little bit more by dryness, kind of look and feel. So we'll get them all loaded up in here and just sit back and wait. There's 5 racks cold. And we're going in with 5 racks of Hickory BBQ. Okay, so this is a total of about 26 pounds all loaded up in here. It's going to turn into a beautiful cherry red, bright red color as it smokes.
We're the Bearded Butchers, and we're here to tell you about our mission statement. And that mission statement is all about elevating the meat experience.
That's right, and we do this for 3 different ways. One, through our authentic butcher shop, White Feather Meats. This is where we spent 30 plus years learning all the butchering skills that we have, from livestock slaughter through further processing, including formulating and blending recipes that are clean spices. After all, butchering and spices have gone together for centuries. That's where we've learned the trade. That's where we've formulated all of our spice blends. Number 2, it's about our online platforms, beardedbutchers.com, Amazon, and our retail partners, where you can find products just like this. These are products that are near and dear to our hearts. They're the spice blends and the items that you need for processing your meat at home. They're as well as the tools that you'll need to do that, and some of the meat products that we produce and we know that you'll love. Outside of that, we have some lifestyle items, including the apparel that we wear. So these are all ways that you too can elevate the meat experience by going to these marketplaces or visiting a retail partner near you. And then number 3, it's about our extensive online library, mostly found here on YouTube, of how-to videos for the butchering, the barbecuing, the grilling. So on YouTube and these other social platforms, you can find this free open source library of videos that we do, leveraging all of those experiences that we've had over these 3 decades of butchering. So that's how the Bearded Butchers are elevating the meat experience.
So head over to all of our social platforms right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where you too can learn how to create and develop some amazing recipes, some amazing food, because at the end of the day, it's all about elevating your meat experience.
All right, Seth couldn't join me on this because he had to get ready for dinner that we got to go to tonight. But we are looking absolutely amazing. Look at those jerky strips. So for about 4 hours, 5 hours, I think we're getting close to our 4.5 hours now. We did 180 for 2 hours, 200 for 2 hours, then we stepped it up to 220. So yeah, you want to, with this, it's like I said, it's hard to probe these. Let me just shut this for a second. But what you want to see is you want to start seeing the texture where it will break, and that tells you that you're getting done, and you just want to kind of dry this down to a level that looks good to you. So I'm going to get these pulled. We're going to put them in the cooler. We've got another batch of the ground and formed, and then so we'll just run that through. Probably won't do that on camera. And then we'll do, next you'll see the whole muscle strips. We're gonna rack those out, get those in the smoker, and get all 60 pounds of this smoked up. All right, we're back. It's the next morning. We have all of our ground and formed jerkies cooked. Those are ready for packaging. When this stuff cooks down about 50% of the weight, reduced by about 50%, that's when you know it's done. But These look good.
They
and
taste good,
taste
too.
amazing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna set these aside. That's the ground and form product, and we're gonna get our whole muscle jerky racked up. After sitting overnight, this jerky looks like this. You want to kind of stir it up. You can see that cure worked in there, made that nice red color. It'll kind of form its own like marinade juice. But before we rack it, we'll kind of give it a stir here. And then we'll just start laying this out on racks, one flavor at a time. Get ready for some cold fingers.
Yeah, it's cold out here.
Well, and the jerky's very cold. One thing
Right.
I've learned over the years about racking jerky is you're gonna have some cold fingers. Non-stick cooking spray makes life a lot easier when you go to unrack these, and so we just leave the racks stacked. That way we get the spray on the ones underneath of them. Get yourself a little pile. We've racked a lot of jerky in our day.
Start laying
haven't we?
this out.
Yeah. You want to get these where they're maybe just barely touching. You don't want to rack them too tight. They'll shrink some as they cook. Best part of making jerky. All right, there we are. Smoker set at 180. We do have some pieces in here thick enough. I think I'll get a couple probes in. Again, it's not so much about the temperature. I mean, the temperature matters with jerky, but it's more about how much you want to dry it down to. And usually about 50% of the weight is what you want to look for. The challenge is just finding a piece thick enough that you can get a probe in.
Oh, I'm sure there's a piece in there that you sliced that's plenty thick.
I'm sure. So we'll do 180 for a couple hours, 200 for a couple hours. Just step it up. Sometimes, depending on your smoker, what you have, your times vary, or you might actually have to move your trays around if you get any hot spots.
Gonna do it, Scott?
Yep.
Now we wait.
That's a softball glove, sir. Where's he at? It's like herding cats.
Calling our media guys.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
He never picks up a
Trying
smoke.
to reach is not available at the tone.
Other than Spencer.
Please record
Spencer's always here.
Let's get some jerky
Smells
out of
good.
the smoker. This has been, what time is it now? Pushing 3 o'clock. Again,
7
cooking
hours.
times vary. You're gonna maybe have to switch stuff around, make it fit where you're at, your smoker, but you wanna get it dried down to a point where, like I said, about 50% of the weight. You can also kind of start to see the white strands in the meat when it gets dried down. Let's go ahead and get this stuff pulled off, pile everything up, show you just how much jerky we wound up with off of this one deer. Look at all this jerky, Spencer. We've got all the whole muscle, we've got all the ground and form. So from the carcass that was hanging behind us, which was 97 pounds, we had 55.5 pounds of total boneless combined whole muscle and the ground and formed. We did add some pork to that, to the ground and formed, brought it up to 40 pounds. And then we cooked all this, right? So when you make jerky, you typically reduce it by about 50%. The ground and formed, it's not quite as much. So what we're left here is we have 33 total pounds. So we had a 97-pound carcass. We trimmed it down, cut it down. We had 55 pounds. We added 5 pounds of pork to a portion of it. So we had 60 pounds then. And then we cooked it all down, and we have 32.5 pounds of ready-to-eat snack meat. So this is completely cooked. Looks wonderful. I think we got to try some, Seth.
I agree.
I mean, look at the beautiful Hickory BBQ. Look at the red color to that.
The obviously the time that it took to process the deer in this manner, it does take time, but the reward is right here on the table. So who wouldn't want 33 pounds of jerky? Go to the store and buy 33 pounds of jerky and see what that would cost you.
Right, and thinking about, we have to cut this entire deer into strips or form it into strips that are, you know, an inch wide by, you know, an 1/8 inch, 3/16 of an inch, or even thinner, and then get it all cooked. But a lot of work.
Excellent.
Well worth it. Tastes phenomenal. So something you can share with your family and friends.
I gotta go for some of this.
The chopped and formed is definitely like easier to chew, but
I'm going with a piece of hot.
you can
So
break
good.
these up however you like. Cut them up, package them up, pass them out, put them in your lunchbox.
Yeah, put these in your fridge. We're gonna vacuum seal these. These would last, you know, months vacuum sealed. Once you break that seal, we recommend eating it, you know, within a week or two, kept in your fridge. But man, throw that in your backpack, take that on a hunting trip, share with your family and friends, like Scott said. It's a fantastic way to utilize an entire deer. Is 33 pounds of jerky. This
Phenomenal.
was a fun video. It was a lot of work, like I said. You know, cutting all these strips and then extruding all of this out onto trays, but in the end, it's worth it.
Voila.
Scott, another great video. Hopefully you guys and gals enjoyed it. We're gonna keep them coming throughout this fall and hunting season. Have a great time in the outdoors with your family and friends. Stay safe, and until next time, see ya.